That's your client chair. That's where you should be. That's where you could be. This is elder law, North Carolina elder law attorney Greg McIntyre, here to talk to you about Titanic mistakes in elder law planning and in estate planning. So, what are Titanic mistakes in elder law planning? And I'll go through. I'll show you. I'll let you meet a couple people that are here. Several people that are here working off my staff that are very highly trained, very good at what they do, and also I have the pleasure of having my wife here today, Stephanie, and my son Tucker are in there painting the war room where we engage in some strategy and planning, and just gives us a place to go be creative and engage in legal and business strategy. So anyway, let's talk about elder law a little bit. What are Titanic mistakes in elder law? Well, when I say Titanic mistakes, that reminds you of the Titanic, right? Is it the HMS Titanic that man built and said was unsinkable? The engineers said it was unsinkable. So obviously, on its maiden voyage, it hit an iceberg and sank. Okay, so they didn't know the iceberg was hanging out there, right? They might. I mean, they should have. They should have had an idea there were some icebergs hanging out there. They were going through some cold water and up in the northern Atlantic, right? And they knew there were some icebergs hanging out there, but I guess they didn't know it was there until they hit it. And what a surprise, right? What a surprise, and what a false sense of confidence they had. And lots of people suffered and died because of it. So a Titanic mistake in elder law would not be seeing the icebergs that are out there for you in your coming life. And I say, if you're saving for retirement, you need to be planning to save your retirement. A catchy phrase, which I'll take credit for, but very true. If you're saving for retirement, you need to be planning to save your retirement. What are some Titanic mistakes in elder law? What are some icebergs that are hanging out there? Well, one is time. Time is your enemy. I'm going to repeat that. Time is your enemy. The longer you wait, the more chances there are that something is going to happen prior to you getting a plan in place. We as human beings are generally motivated. Our number one motivator is fear. So when the captain and the crew and everybody on board hit the iceberg, they were motivated by fear. By fear to do what? Not by fear to seal the doors like they should have. And I guess the boiler blew up and split the boat in half anyway, so it's kind of a moot point, but maybe could have helped. But by fear to get the heck in the lifeboats and get off. Save themselves. But they should have been motivated by trying to figure out how to navigate the water and be ready in case they hit an iceberg. So how can you, as someone who is either a retiree, getting ready to retire, going into your senior years, the husband or wife of a senior who is in need of care, maybe in the future, the son or daughter of a senior who you're worried about, or who might need care now, or is receiving care now, or in the future because of some long-term health care event. Time is your enemy by waiting. And why is that? Well, there's several reasons. One is cost. I have a friend who plans in Colorado, and he says, people will curse me for what I would charge to pre-plan something and save everything they have. And then in the end, they'll come back and beg and kiss me and hug me and tell me that I'm the best thing since sliced bread, the best attorney since Perry Mason. And I'll have to charge them double and save half of everything they had because it's an emergency crisis situation. It's a lot more planning. It's a lot more heavy lifting, and there's a lot more at stake. So, plan ahead. It's a lot less costly. For instance, having a power of attorney in place is a document, a legal document that should be bulletproof and written. I'm not a huge fan of short-term powers of attorneys. Ours are generally between 20 and 26 pages long and cover everything from soup to nuts, including Medicaid planning. So it allows your most trusted person in your family, and then you can line up second and third people, on deck in case that person can't serve or is unwilling to serve or is unable to serve, to handle your affairs, both healthcare and business affairs, should you become incapacitated or unable to do so because of a healthcare situation, dementia, Alzheimer's, any situation. That's a lot less costly than a guardianship proceeding. That's a long, drawn-out court proceeding that could be conflicted if your family members don't agree who's going to be the guardian, or if there's not somebody suitable. Why not go ahead and appoint someone in a document at a tenth of the cost? Plan ahead saves money, and you have your affairs in order, both for health care and for general business affairs. Plan ahead before you're on, heaven forbid, on life support and lingering and the family's bickering over what to do and they have that guilt-ridden decision. You could, if you wanted to, draft a health care directive or a living will, as it's called, to determine how you want that situation to be handled and express that intent to the caregivers, to the physicians, and your healthcare power of attorney. So time is your enemy, and cost is your enemy there with time. So don't be motivated by fear. Be motivated by logic. Try to be motivated by logic and the fact that that it's better to plan ahead, it's less costly, and it's the smart play. It's the smart thing to do. The smart thing to do is take a different path around the iceberg. The healthcare situation is an iceberg that many seniors face. Long-term care, either in-home care, assisted living, or nursing home care, is an iceberg. And I say that knowing that a U.S. Department of Health and Human Services report in 2005 said that about 70% of all seniors over 65 at that time were going to need some type of care, long-term care, either in-home, assisted living, or nursing home care. That's 7 out of 10 people. That means that if I'm holding up 10 fingers, don't want to put on the wrong fingers. If I'm holding up 10, this is the number of people or the number of fingers that aren't going to need care. The rest of them are going to need care. That's a big deal. 70%. Better than Vegas odds. And Vegas wasn't built on winners. Okay? So beat the odds. Don't let the government or healthcare take it all. Okay? And plan ahead. So the hang your head, spin down. That's another enemy. What's the hang your head, spin down? Well, the hang your head, spin down is what I've dubbed, or what I call and have named, you going to social services without knowing any better or knowing what to do. All those social workers there, I have found, I have a great relationship with them. I value that relationship, and they're experts at what they do, but they're not attorneys. They're not paid to guide you through the complicated legal process of what you can or can't do with your assets, or how you, as a healthy spouse of someone who is in a nursing home, can help keep money that you work for your entire life so that you can enjoy your retirement and your healthy years. The spin down right now in North Carolina is just over $119,000 that the healthy spouse can keep. Well, that's not a lot of money if you got years and years to live. That's just not a lot of money. So how can you keep above and beyond that? Well, we can help you. How can you save your house from having a Medicaid lien on it or being taken away and sold, and not kept in your family at some point? Well, you can see someone like me and we can talk about ladybird deeds or tenants in common deeds, other things that we can do to help affect and save property. So I think another iceberg out there is a lack of knowledge. If I was, in the middle of the Atlantic, the North Atlantic, waving flashlights and flags and operating the lighthouse, trying to tell you, hey, and screaming up and down, iceberg, turn this way and I can get you out of this, wouldn't you want to give me a call? Wouldn't you want to say, hey, what's that guy doing over there? Let's ask him why he's yelling and screaming and trying to get our attention. Well, I'm trying to get your attention because you're headed toward the iceberg that's going to sink your ship and your family's ship. So pay attention to the guy operating the lighthouse, all right? Because he's trying to steer you away from that Titanic mistake, which is waiting till it's too late. Now, in an emergency situation, we can get in, and we love doing that, and save as many assets as possible. But it gets tricky sometimes being able to save as much as we could if we were able to plan ahead at a fraction of the cost, and that's what we appreciate and really like to do. If you can't tell, I'm very passionate about helping seniors maintain their assets and legacies, protect their assets and legacies. That's our slogan here at McIntyre Elder Law. The purpose of my practice is twofold. It's one, our slogan, to help seniors protect their assets and legacies and pass on those to their loved ones. Another is making sure that they stay in control of those assets and have the best health care options possible. So those things are what are our guiding principles here, okay? And we love to do it, all right? So I hope that I've helped put out there some Titanic mistakes in elder law. And please feel free to tune in every Friday at 2 o'clock. I'll do these from wherever I am, okay? If I'm on the road, I'll do it in the car, okay? I'll put it up stationary and do it, and talk to you that way. But Fridays at 2 o'clock, I'll be here to answer your questions. Follow me on Periscope and on Twitter, on all social media, and you'll see these advertised. You can just click the link and go here. And what you can do is you can ask questions on this Periscope app directly of me, and I'll answer them real time while we're talking, okay? All you do is just click the bottom, type a question in, and you're good to go, okay? All right, so I'm Greg McIntyre with McIntyre Elder Law. I know I told you I was going to introduce you to Stephanie and some of those. Let me see if they're up there. Let me go find them. Passing by the conference room. Steph, you in there?
No.
Where's your... Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Tucker's painting in there, painting some of the room. Don't get her on the floor, big man. All right, that's how we do it. We keep in the family. Kids working hard. You working hard, Tucker?
Yeah.
Good.
I just swallowed.
Huh?
I just swallowed.
I don't know, man. It's a little patchy, but it's getting there. If we have to put a second coat on, we'll put a second coat on, okay?
Okay.
All right?
Bye.
All right, just keep working. Anna is not in there. Chris working hard.
Yes. Hayden, you took the Hayden. She set up the... Yes. Hang on.
And we got Julia and Hayden working hard up here too, okay? So thank you for joining me here today. And for next week, where we'll approach a different topic and talk about something else to do with elder law. I really think I'm going to probably talk about a veterans issue that's a nationwide issue next week. I'm a veteran of the U.S. Navy and very passionate about helping our vets, okay? And it totally turns upside down the idea of a spend down, where instead of just spending down money to qualify for medical benefits, you can start actually making money for the client based on the VA benefits that they're eligible for, but they don't know about, so we can pay private pay for those benefits. Anyway, Greg McIntyre, McIntyre Elder Law, helping seniors protect their assets and legacies. Thank you.